I don't know who else is bringing you a live Willie Nelson concert. The other one is essentially sand. You can see it behind me. It's basically made up of sand, some rock. Just in this area with storm damage alone, there are roofs all over the street. In fact, this building has a piece of wood lodged into the side of it. This gun I just fired is one of the more popular selling models here at Chandler's gun range. She came out to find just an absolute mess. Her ceiling had caved in. There's still sheetrock and just trash everywhere. Her roof top was just ripped off on I-35 between Austin and Dallas by expanding Highway 130. You can see there is still tape over the window that was shot out sometime this weekend. A new report finds McLennan County's population now exceeds 230,000, and the area is well positioned for growth despite the economic downturn. Everyone is clearly cutting back, but as mom and dad tighten their wallets, their kids are taking notice. Lean firefighters will get some help when it comes to battling grass fires. Nick Piesco in for Lene tonight. Man, I forgot how much I didn't like the wind. It's back.
It's back. Well, it's going to be a lot more back here over the next couple days.
Kelly, this really does not come as a surprise to anyone here at the WACO Trib. Over the last year, they have faced cutbacks after going up for sale. However, they have successfully poured countless hours into their newspaper's website that now gets millions of views every month. Could your newspaper delivery soon be a thing of the past? Looming in the newsroom of the Waco Tribune-Herald is the future of the newspaper industry.
Is it scary? Certainly. But it's also a very exciting time because we are forced to be entrepreneur in spirit.
Announced online, the largest daily newspaper yet will do away with its print production and become online only. After almost 150 years in business, the move by the Seattle Post-Intelligencer may be a sign of what's to come.
The web is essential to the viability of any media business today. And unfortunately, I think the vast majority of the media outlets across this country are way behind the curve.
But the Waco Trib is ahead of the game, with a website offering the day's top headlines, breaking news, sports, and entertainment. They get an average of 10 million page views a month. But many would agree the online version of the newspaper just isn't the same as the print version. Getting the paper every morning is something many Americans have become very used to. In fact, some say they couldn't live without it.
There's just nothing like sitting down at the morning table to read your newspaper and drink a cup of coffee. And I enjoy that, and I don't want to give that up.
For the past few years, the Trib has been holding steady at about 40,000 subscribers, but many readers are noticing what's available online.
Yeah, sometimes I worry that their website is so good that it could supplant the print paper on its own.
Now, right now, another 10 newspapers in big cities across America face closure or going online. And along with other really big newspapers, the Waco Trib is up for sale, but so far no buyers. Though it is really hard to imagine, some experts are actually saying that long-term, print will go away. There are few people in America, and perhaps around the world, who haven't heard of Willie Nelson. Though he's now hitting stages across the globe, Willie Nelson was once just a small fry running around the streets of the Central Texas town of Abbott.
Willie was a good singer and everything, but nobody ever thought he'd ever go where he went.
His childhood friend, Morris Russell, stands outside the lone grocery store in Abbott, which Willie Nelson now owns. Willie also owns the Abbott Methodist Church.
When he was a kid, him and Bobby played and sang gospel songs in this church. They was raised up in this church.
And Willie never forgets his roots.
Well, Abbott down here is, my hometown, and I was glad to get back up here. And I can always pretty much tell when I'm getting close to Abbott. You know how it feels when you get close to home. You can tell it.
And Willie's house was right behind those trees over there.
Willie's childhood home was torn down in the 50s. He later bought a modest white home with a wraparound porch in Abbott.
I feel like that I've learned practically everything that I know by growing up in this area. There's not anything that you could learn in New York City that you can't learn down in West or Waco or any of these places. So.
Still by the and they say all the time. But if that's what it takes to be free, I don't mind still moving.
Willie says positive thinking and staying true to who he is got him to where he is today.
That's too hard to imagine as, you know, a guitar player, you know, from Abbott. But it just goes to show you it can't happen.
His music now transcends generations and speaks to the hearts of his old and young fans who come early and stay late.
He just embodies America, what I wish more Americans could embrace.
He's currently on tour with Asleep at the Wheel. Their newest member, Elizabeth McQueen, says he's just a really cool guy with very loyal fans.
We just did a tour on the East Coast with him, and everywhere we went, people, the moment that he would come out on stage, it was like people were just up on their feet and clapping, and it was like their souls just expanded when he walked out on stage. So, but Texas is different. I mean, Texas, he's part of the culture here.
Living on the road, my friend, I'm gonna keep you free and clean.
Willie offered an uplifting tidbit for his fans struggling alongside the U.S. economy.
A guy said one time, there's big drought going on. Somebody said, "You think it's going to rain?" The guy said, "Always has."
Some advice passed down from Willie Nelson to you.
Now the kindness I ask for.
In Hill County, Erica Harpold, KCBN 9 News.
Oh, we saw like sparks flying, you know, from the power lines. I mean, it's like Armageddon end time stuff here, so it's crazy.
They can laugh about it now as they survey the damage left behind because incredibly, through all this whipping wind and drenching rain, there were no major injuries.
We're getting ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden we heard all of the wind and went outside and everything started just falling apart.
Most of the damage left behind is scattered throughout downtown Waco. Drivers forced to navigate through intersections on their own as streetlights were out along with power across the area.
We had to go through a few trees to get here and move them out of the road, but once we arrived here we found this mess out here.
Waco police and firefighters arrived at the intersection of 26th and Gorman to find this: snapped power lines and huge chunks of roof scattered throughout the streets.
Yeah, I mean, we look down the road. I mean, there's a stop sign uprooted from the ground. I mean, there's roofs.
Just in this area with storm damage alone, there are roofs all over the street. In fact, this building has a piece of wood lodged into the side of it.
Well, it took a portion of the backyard fence out, big metal gates. Neighbor lost all of his chimney, so it was pretty tough.
At I-35 and University Parks Drive, more roof problems as a nearby building damaged by the storm left debris scattered, forcing police officers to clean up.
It's going to be a lot of mess for somebody to clean up tonight. Street workers are going to be busy.
Dozens of residents living at the Austin Arms apartments had their windows busted out from the wind. Even a radio tower on the top of the building came crashing down. Unfortunately, this is only a quick snap of damage left behind. In Waco, Erica Harpold, NBC 6 News.